I have to tell you something that Dave and I did that I don't think my dad was really happy with, but uh, I don't know why we did some of the things we did, but we learned by it. As I mentioned before, we had a fast tractor and a slow tractor. If we were out in the field, when it was time to go home, we wanted the fast tractor. It was a lot faster than the other tractor. And so we would always try to get the fast tractor, but the fast tractor was also the least powerful in the field. So, but you're always concerned about getting home faster. And that was our concern. One day in the field, I had the Moline, which was the fast tractor, and Dave had the Case, which is the slow tractor. And I said, I get the Moline, and he didn't say much. He didn't argue anything about it. And I got on the Moline and I was trailing down the road, and all of a sudden, here came the Case passing me up. Well, what in the world is going on? How did he do that? And come to find out, tractors have governors on them. And the governor keeps it from going any faster. They go, and it goes down and it stays at that number of revolutions per minute, so that you can't go too fast for the motor. Well, Dave hooked a wire from the governor arm through a loop on the fender and back to the play on the brake. So when he got going, he just pushed on the brake, just to play, it didn't affect the brake, just to play. And he passed me so fast, I couldn't believe it. And another time when Dad was in the field, the kid had the Moline wired that way. Now that Moline was fast anyway, but you wire back the governor and that thing flat moves. And he and one of these stake leaders was out in the field, and here came Dave. Looked like it was a car going down through that field or through the road. And the stake leader said, "What in the world is that?" And Dad just told him that was the fast tractor. The Moline was quite fast, but he got a talking to after he got home, that's for sure. And the wiring the governor down was no longer a something that was acceptable. So we didn't do that anymore. But one day we didn't have anything to do, went up into the spud pit. That's where the Case tractor was located. And we had a pitchfork, and we were playing around, and we put the pitchfork on the battery cable, and the one tine, that is, put a pitchfork tine on a battery cable, and the other part of it was on a ground piece, just a piece of metal. And it got red hot, and then we bent the tines over. And so, you had a pitchfork with all the tines bent to the left, and we thought it would be funny. Well, Dad came up and grabbed the fork and went down to use it. Couldn't understand what was the matter with that fork, and he looked at it, and all the tines were all bent to the left. And he said, "Okay, that might be funny, but you got to straighten it out." It took a lot longer to straighten those tines out than it did to bend them. I'll tell you that for sure.